Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about The Beach Bum. So, I'm a let's just get this straight. I'm a huge fan of this movie. I got this movie on repeat. Um, like legit, but yeah, basically I've seen this movie, quite a few times. Uh it's okay. Basically, this movie is like the movie that got me that made me obsessed with Harmony Korine as a director. The only the only other Harmony Korine movie, like, I got into Harmony Korine late in the game. Like, I think I saw Kids for the first time in like 2018. I was just like posted up in my friend's crusty basement after work, and like I would just go over to his house. We would just watch movies, and we would drink like malt liquor, and I would just like sleep over at his house, and he would just put me hip to all kinds of fantastic movies. And basically, I was just in his crusty basement one night, and he's like, "Hey, let's watch Kids," and we just like bootlegged that junk off YouTube, and I was like, "Wow, like this movie is fantastic." And after I initially saw that, I kind of looked into it. I did some research, and I was really fascinated with that movie. And I'm like, "Oh, this was written by Harmony Korine." Like, you know, let me see what else he's done, and I kind of like looked up his other work, but I never really sought out his movies. And then, okay, so The Beach Bum came out in 2019, and it was like when I saw it was like a little bit after it came out. It was like the summer of 2020. I was just at this store. It's like, I guess you would call it like a mass merchandiser. It's kind of like a Walmart. It's this store in the I think it's just, maybe it's just a Midwest thing. It's called Meijer, and it's basically like a mass merchandiser. It's like a grocery store, but you could get various items. You could buy a fishing pole, you could buy a tennis racket, you could buy printer paper, you could buy an Xbox, like whatever. So like I was just grocery shopping summer 2020, and I saw the Beach Bum cover, and I was like, oh snap, Snoop Dogg's in this, Matthew McConaughey, Zac Efron, Martin Lawrence is in this, and the cover was really cool. I'm like, oh snap, that Harmony Korine guy, he directed this. So I'm like, hey, it caught my interest. So I bought it and I checked it out, and I'm telling you what, like, the first time I saw this movie, I was blown away. I was talking about it like crazy. To this day, I still talk about it like crazy. Like, I try to put all my coworkers onto this. I kept trying to get my dad to watch it because like he lives in Florida part time, and it's got that beautiful Florida scenery. Like, I became obsessed with this movie. I told everyone about it, and it led me down like a rabbit hole where I had to check out all of Harmony Korine's other movies. So then I bought Gummo, I bought Trash Humpers, I bought Spring Breakers, and I was just like obsessed. I was watching like every Harmony Korine interview, and I really became obsessed with all his movies. And like, this is the movie that, like, I saw Kids and I liked Kids and I still love it to this day, and I think it's an absolute classic. But this is the movie that like really like made me seek out all of Harmony Korine's other movies, because I just thought this movie was like fun, funny, wacky, visually stunning, out there, and just like weird, just like different than other movies. I'm like, I gotta check out his other stuff. So yeah, this movie kind of like really got me into Harmony Korine. But anyways, let me get into the plot summary before I ramble too long. I'm telling you what, this is like a I'm doing this video later because I got like called into work, and I had like school and stuff. And I'm telling you, it almost it's like easier to do a video later. Like, I was doing I do like physical therapy exercises because I'm all broken up and stuff. And then like my physical therapist, she's like, yeah, you want to do it later in the day because you're already warmed up. Like, I like doing a nice late video because I'm already talking all day, so it's like I'm already kind of in the flow of it. So yeah, this might be like a long video because I'm already warmed up type stuff. But anyways, plot summary. So the movie focuses on Moondog. Uh, he's a poet. He was famous, but he's kind of washed up. He kind of fell off. He's kind of resting on his laurels, like he was famous, and he gets recognized here and there, but he hasn't really put anything like great out in a while. He just hangs around all day, sips Pabst Blue Ribbon. He just gets drunk all day, gets into a bunch of crazy activities, and yeah, he just doesn't really have a lot of direction. He's just kind of resting on his past success, kind of meandering through life, and his wife Minnie, she's like incredibly wealthy, and like she kind of helps out Moondog financially, and very early on in the movie, Moondog and Minnie are involved in a car wreck, and Minnie unfortunately passes away, and Minnie in her will, she had it written that and for like I believe she left half of her estate to their daughter, and then half of her estate to Moondog. But in order for Moondog to get the money from her estate, he had to like write a book. He had to like write the next great American novel. So for the rest of the movie, he's just kind of like he goes to rehab for a little bit. He breaks out, and he's just kind of meeting with various wacky characters and getting into all these crazy situations and having these wild experiences. And as he's doing this, it kind of gets the juices flowing, the creative juices flowing, and he begins writing the great American novel, and he eventually writes a novel, and he gets that guap. He gets like $50 million or something crazy like that. So that's the basic plot summary. I pretty much spoiled it, but what are you gonna do? This movie came out a while ago, so I'm sorry. I'm just excited. I really like this movie. So anyways, I kind of talked about this movie making me obsessed with Harmony Korine already. I just remembered something when I was talking about when I was going over the plot description that I forgot to mention, but it's something that I wanted to write down in my notes. And I like the whole aspect of the movie where like Moondog he can't just like sit down and write this book. He has to live a little bit, and he has to have some experiences to write about. And I feel like that's with most creative pursuits. Creativity is not something like when you're just going to like when I'm going to my normal job, like I gotta, like I know what I have to do, or like when I'm going to school, I know what I have to do, and I just gotta sit down and do it. Like, I dibble dabble with some creative stuff, and I did like a lot more in the past, and I feel like you can never force creativity, and you do have to like live a lot in order to get like material to write about or sing about or paint about. Like you can't just be like a total recluse. Like you have to, even if it's like simple stuff, like you drive down the street and you see some crackhead fighting someone or something, like you gotta like have experiences in order to have creative output. Like you can't just, it's not like, I feel like creative output doesn't just come from nowhere. It's like you gotta kind of like see stuff, and it's like you're kind of like recycling stuff, but you're like making it your own. Like you'll see something and you'll kind of tell that story, or you'll put your own twist on it. And I kind of like that aspect of the movie where for Moondog to be able to like have this creative output, like he needs to just be in that flow state and really like live in the moment and have these wacky experiences to talk about and like get him in the mood. So I really like that. Another point that I want to mention is, okay, like I said, this movie got me into Harmony Korine. It wasn't the first Harmony Korine movie I saw, but it got me into Harmony Korine. I think I'm gonna be 100% honest. I think this is Harmony Korine's most accessible movie ever. I really do think so. I think Spring Breakers is also one of his more accessible films, but I think this is even more accessible, like, because, you know, Spring Breakers does have some of that like darkness that is present in most other Harmony Korine movies. This movie is light. It's comedic. You have like an all-star cast. It does meander like a lot of his movies. It kind of it kind of jumps around a lot, and it's a very loose narrative, but I feel like there is a story there, so like I think that makes it accessible, because some of his other movies there's relatively no story. Like Gummo, there's not like one cohesive story. Trash Humpers, there's absolutely no story. Even something like Aggro Drift, not a lot of story there. This it has there's a good amount of story. It's a loose story, but there is story. So yeah, I feel like this is his most accessible movie like to date, and I really like it because of that, because this is this is something that you can show to people who aren't into him. Like, you can't just, I know like Harmony Korine hates Ken Park because he wasn't really involved in much of the creative process. It was like a spec script basically. Like, he just wrote it, and Larry Clark bought it. But like, you can't just show someone off the street Ken Park. Like, a lot of people would be like, what the F? Like, you can't just like show, like, if you're like dating a girl or something, you're not just gonna throw on Ken Park or throw on Gummo. You gotta ease them into that. So you show them Beach Bum, then you say, hey, the same guy did this movie, and then if they don't like it, it's like, oh, hey, I thought you'd be into it. But yeah, this is more accessible. And some random thought that I had, I kind of thought this movie was like reminiscent of a chapter book, because throughout the story he meets these random wacky characters. Like, when he's in rehab, he's hanging with Zac Efron's character, and then he's like working on Martin Lawrence's character's boat for a little bit, and there's like all these little chapters, and then he's like, I gotta go like on to the next, I gotta like go meet the next person, go on to the next experience. So the movie was kind of set up like a chapter book, in my opinion, and I really liked that. I liked how it was like you would just get one segment with a character, then it was like on to the next location, on to the next character, on to the next little story. So I thought that was really cool. This is like a totally random point, but basically the last time I watched this, I was off some substances, and I really don't do like substances these days, because I'm like an older gentleman. I'm not like older, but I'm like kind of, me personally, I like don't really have interest in doing substances. Like, I like having a couple of drinks at night, but I don't really, besides that, I'm pretty much straight edge. But basically, I was at work, and my buddy and I, we were talking about this movie. I was telling him about him. He's never seen it, but I was like, yeah, like the main character, Moondog, he's like going into gas stations trying to buy LSD, and then my coworker's like, man, he's cold copping LSD. Like, you can't be cold copping LSD. That's like a terrible thing to be cold copping. Which, cold copping, I never even use that term, but that's just when you like, just kind of buy something off a stranger on the street. And actually, how he's buying the LSD at a gas station, well, he's in the movie, he doesn't buy LSD at the gas station. Like, he tries to, because they did back in the day, but they don't anymore. And there was actually this gas station like by my house, not my current house, but when I was in high school, there's this one gas station that they would just like, the one guy working there, he was like this younger guy, he would just sell you weed. Like, you would just walk up there and he would just like sell you like little dime bags or nick bags of weed. So like I would just go up to this gas, like if I couldn't get weed from anyone, I would just like go up to this gas station. I'd be like, hello. Like I was just like some like suburban kid who was wearing like salmon shorts, and then I would just like go to like some gas station in the city, and I would be like, hello sir, can I get a nickel bag please? You know, it was kind of funny. But yeah, like that when I was watching the movie when he was trying to cold cop the LSD, it reminded me of that. But anyways, my coworker and I, like 4 or 5 months ago, we were talking about this movie, and my coworker, he either it was like that day or like a couple days before, he had given me some shrooms, and I had never done shrooms before, and I was like driving him home, and he gave it to me, and I kept saying like, dude, I don't want it, I'm good, no thank you, like I'm straight on that, like, you know, you can have that, like you can just keep it, man. He's like, dude, I got so much, like take it, man. Like he would like would always talk about it and want me to take him. He was like a shroom advocate. He would trip like probably once a week, and he loved them, and he liked to like spread the joy and give them to everyone. So I like reluctantly took the shrooms, and then basically I think, yeah, the day I was talking to my coworker about the movie and Moondog trying to cold cop the LSD, it put it in my head like, oh, I kind of want to rewatch Beach Bum. And then I just like got home, I took the shrooms, and then I was listening, like I didn't know if I was gonna watch Beach Bum, but I was listening to Young Lean, and I just put like a random Young Lean auto-generated playlist on YouTube, and the song Buildings came on, which is a good Young Lean song. Like it's like an older one. I don't listen to that one as much, but it's a good song. And Young Lean mentioned Harmony Korine, and I was like already off the shrooms, and I'm like, this is a sign, like I have to watch Beach Bum tonight. Just this is, I'm going on a tangent, but Harmony Korine, his company, his new company Edgelord, they actually did a video for a Young Lean song. It's Young Lean and Blade. It's called 1 Second. To be honest, the song is pretty mid, but the video is really cool. Like if you're a fan of Harmony Korine, if you like his new Edgelord stuff, or if you are a Young Lean fan, I would check out the 1 Second music video. It's very good. But anyways, I was like listening to that Building song, and Young Lean mentioned Harmony Korine, so I was like, I have to watch Beach Bum. And then yeah, I did. So like the last time I watched this, I was off the shrooms, and it was my first time ever taking them. And this movie is absolutely visually stunning, and Harmony Korine always talks about, like, you know, he started this whole liquid narrative thing in Spring Breakers, where the movie is meant to be more of an experience. It's supposed to be more of like a sensory experience, like a drug experience. And I get that. I like feel that when I'm watching his movies sober. But man, if you watch Beach Bum off the psychedelics, like, man, oh man, like, do you understand what the heck Harmony Korine is talking about when he's talking about this liquid narrative thing? Because just like the flow of it, the pace of it, the fact that it's kind of like a loose story, the color grading, the lighting, like when you're off the psychedelics, man, oh man, is Beach Bum a phenomenal film to watch. But yeah, like overall, I liked watching the movie on that stuff. But overall, like it was cool to try that once, because my coworker, like, you know, gave it to me, and it was the reason I took that stuff is because, you know, my coworker gave it to me, and he kept asking me, like, did I take it? And then it was like, it's like if you go into work and you like talk about the football game, like if you know you're going to be talking about the football game tomorrow, it's like it's like, man, you know, I really don't want to watch the football game, but everyone at work is going to be talking about it, so I got to watch the football game. So in my like crazy mind, I was like, well, you know, my coworker, he did give me the shrooms, and he's going to be like asking me if I took them and how I liked it. So I'm like, I might as well take them so that I have something to talk about at work. And then and then my coworkers, they were like shocked because they know I'm pretty straight edge compared to them. They were like shocked that I actually took them, and they're like, Earl, why'd you take them? I didn't know you were into all that. I'm like, oh, I didn't want to disappoint so and so. I'm like, I really didn't want to take them. Like this, I was just being 100% honest. I said to my other coworkers, I'm like, yeah, I told them no, that I didn't want to take them, but I knew we were gonna talk about it again at work, and I really didn't want to disappoint them, so I took them anyways. I'm like, I hated it though, but like, I mean, I liked watching the movie on them, but overall, I don't really like doing substances that much these days. I just like having a couple drinks. But anyways, that was really long and drawn out, but I don't know. I thought that was like maybe a fun story. I used to watch this YouTuber called Luna, and he would just like play video games and like talk about random stories of him, like, you know, doing substances or getting into trouble in the neighborhood, and I always thought that was kind of like fun to listen to. So I thought that would be like a fun little story to mention in the video. But anyways, moving on. I want to. This video is going to be so long. I want to kind of jump back to my point about the movie being visually stunning. So this is the same cinematographer as Spring Breakers, and in like interviews for Spring Breakers, Harmony Korine, he was saying like, I told the cinematographer I want the movie to look like it was lit with Skittles. Spring Breakers does look like it's lit with Skittles. This movie, I feel like this movie more so looks like it's lit with Skittles. Like this movie, like the visual flair in this movie is off the charts. It's like a 95-minute music video. Like the color grading is beautiful. The lighting is beautiful. All of the backgrounds, there's so much neon lighting. There's like, you know, bright green sports cars. Just there's like so much emphasis on like the clothing and how the characters look in the backgrounds, and it's like, you know, this movie, even though it is kind of like a simple story, and maybe you could say like the dialogue is simple, like it's kind of a style over substance movie, but it totally works, and you're just like along for the ride. It's just an experience, and I think that the look of this movie is absolutely like god tier. Like this movie looks absolutely just beautiful. And then okay, this is my last point that I want to get into. So this movie is more of a comedy, which we never see. There's like other Harmony Korine movies, they have like slight comedic moments, but maybe they're like dark comedic moments, most of them. But you know, Harmony Korine is known for these like dark movies. This movie is more of a comedy. And okay, my two favorite segments. My first favorite segment is the whole Martin Lawrence segment. His name's Captain Whack, and he's like supposed to be he does like dolphin tours, but it's like sharks. Every line that came out of Martin Lawrence's mouth was absolute gold. Like every single, I don't know, everything Martin Lawrence said in this hit, and I was like laughing out loud. Like his part of the movie was my favorite part of the movie. It was so funny, but there's so many funny parts. Like, I mean, Zac Efron was great, Jonah Hill was great, Snoop Dogg was great. There was like countless other great characters and great actors, but like Martin Lawrence, he was like, besides, you know, of course, Matthew McConaughey, Martin Lawrence was my favorite part of the movie. Like he killed it. And then I also liked, there was this like pilot that he had glaucoma in both of his eyes, and he was pretty much blind, and he like Moondog asked Snoop Dogg's character, he's like, hey, is he a good pilot? And Snoop Dogg's like, no, he's a terrible pilot. He's pretty much blind, but he's like, but once he gets zooted off that shit, he could see perfectly. I'm totally paraphrasing. I forgot exactly what he said, but it was just funny. Like, the guy was blind, but he would just like smoke so much he could just like see in his mind. And I just like how Snoop Dogg said he's like, when he zooted off that shit, he could see perfect. And I actually got my favorite Martin Lawrence quote. I got it on my phone here. He had this other funny quote too, where he's like, yeah, you know, I got injured in Nam, and that's why I walk like a pimp. Or he's like, I got shot in Nam, and that's why I walk like a pimp. But this is my favorite. This is my favorite Martin Lawrence quote. This is my favorite Captain Whack quote. I gotta read the whole quote. So Captain Whack says, I only had 4 deaths on my watch, and then Moondog says, only 4, and then Captain Whack goes, 4 deaths in over 8 straight years of dolphin touring. It's a terrific record. Now I've been stripped of my license temporarily on 5 separate occasions, but each time I get it reinstated due to a technicality I never quite understood. I know that I butchered that. I sounded like a 3rd grader, like reading in front of class, sounding like an absolute simpleton, but that line was absolutely great. And just Martin Lawrence's delivery, he was just so like energetic and animated. He was so funny. But yeah, that was the last point that I wanted to get into. And I'm telling you what, this video, I'm really happy to make this video, because like I'm pretty sure this is the last Harmony Korine movie that's out right now. So I've done like a whole playlist of Harmony Korine movies, and I even did his most recent movie, Aggro Drift. So I'm pretty sure I've reviewed every single Harmony Korine movie that's out. So it's bittersweet. Like, I'm happy that I got to rewatch all these movies and drop reviews for them, but I'm kind of sad that it's over, because it was fun, you know, checking out some of his movies for the first time. Like, you know, Ken Park was a first time watch for me, and then like revisiting all these other movies and that I really like, and getting to watch them again. So yeah, basically, I mean, yeah, there's not going to be a Harmony Korine review here for a while. He's supposed to drop some movie. It's called Baby Invasion, I think it's called. It's like these hitmen, they mask their face with like AI baby faces so they don't get detected, and it's like a first-person shooter. It's going to be on his new like Edgelord site, so you best believe when that comes out, when what's it called, Baby Invaders comes out, I'm going to review that. But yeah, for a while, you know, I'm going to be done with the Harmony Korine video. So yeah, it was fun reviewing these. Thanks to everyone for watching them. It was a beautiful time. It was a magical time. But anyways, in terms of a recommendation, I absolutely love The Beach Bum. I would recommend it. So yeah, if it's free on Tubi right now. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely check it out on Tubi. But yeah, that has been my recommendation, and that has been my review of The Beach Bum. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.